All right. Good evening, everybody. No, I am not a DJ. That is Ken Francis. I just wanted to change it up a bit tonight. I haven't done a Saturday night call in a while, so I'm excited to be here tonight. Go ahead and type in the chat box where you're listening in from. My name is Brandon Ivey from Los Angeles, California. I'm the founder and CEO of Ivy League Crypto Academy. I teach crypto education for a living, and tonight we're going to be switching it up a bit. I'm going to actually cover some information that Lynette shared earlier in the week about MoveQuest and some terms, definitions, what MoveQuest actually is behind the scenes. You guys have seen me do presentations like I did this morning that showed on the surface what it is, the simplicity of the fact of getting paid from our physical activity. So I love to do this. Let me type in the chat box again. If you made money yesterday in MoveQuest, type me in the chat box. If you were physically active today, you moved around, type me in the chat box. If you slept last night, type me in the chat box. If you did yard work, if you went to the grocery store, if you cleaned your house, played with your kids, walked your dog, rode your bike, swam in your pool, type me in the chat box. If you woke up this morning, see, every physical activity you are being rewarded for. So we're going to take a look a little bit behind the scenes on this ecosystem of what MoveQuest is all about. So I'm going to, everybody, one of you guys can read this yourself, but I understand there's a lot of people that don't like to read. That's why I record myself reading on. Well, I am recording this, so I don't have to do it a second time. So for those that have a hard time and can't find the time to read, they love to hear a live reading, and I'm going to do a live reading, and I'll share at any given point any thoughts that I have as we go. But I'm just going to basically read it and state it as is. It doesn't need that much extra commentary from myself. And if you have not done so, I strongly urge you to read the Bitcoin white paper. It's only 9 pages long if you have not done so. If you don't like to read again, I recorded myself reading it. It's on YouTube. Just type on YouTube, Brandon Ivey Bitcoin white paper, and you'll find the audio recording of me reading it. So let's see. I'd like to recognize some of you guys that's here. I see Miss Marnita Casa and Sue, Android, Angie, Billy, Bobby, and Jim Dean, Coach LB Shannon, Daryl Weston, Doreen, Buckner, Eric Smith, Erica, Fatigue. Hope I said that right. Gina Mohammed, Hustler, Jacqueline Briggs, Tahuti. I'm going to say that right as well. Judy from Toronto, Catherine Clement, Kenny Taylor, Carrie, Kimberly Brooks, LaDanya, Lenny, Luis, Mark, Michael Clark, Michelle Smith, Raymond, Rita Broussard, Rochelle. Good evening, good evening. Let's see who else. Roylene's iPad, Sybil, Q. Hey Q, I finally got my iPhone to work. What I did was I went and got the auto sleep app. And it cost me $5, but it worked with no problem. I couldn't get the sleep meister, just was not working for me. I see Yuri, Iveta. Good evening, everybody. All right, so let's jump on into this. I actually don't know how long this is going to take me, so I don't want to keep you guys too long. Share screen. All right. This document has already been posted in the Telegram groups. We have it in my ILCA Elite group and also in the MoveQuest group. So anybody can read this. 32 pages. It should go by pretty quickly. Let me get this over here so I can see you guys as well. Oops, wrong one. There we go. No problem, Catherine. MoveQuest, dynamic, explosive, life-changing. I was on a private call earlier today, and I emphasized to them kind of the same thing Kenny Taylor said earlier today. It's not that MoveQuest is going to change lives. MoveQuest already has. We've only been here, 65, 70 days. So MoveQuest minting miners. Getting started with MoveQuest minting miners. So to begin your journey in MoveQuest, the first step is to mint One or more miners, that's the Lennies. Understand, when we say minting, there is no store or warehouse full of all the miners and you're just paying for it and it's being delivered to you. You are actually creating it on the blockchain. It's not created until you hit the button and you're minted. That's what it means by minting. You're actually minting, creating the miner, which is that technical term for NFT. So minting miners is an external process that takes place outside of the main ecosystem. This is important because it shows that the success of MoveQuest doesn't rely on constant inflows of new money, unlike pyramid or Ponzi schemes. This model ensures new participants are not funding earlier members. Instead, building a strong and active community is the foundation for long-term success. And that's what we're doing here. We're building a community, not recruiting and building a downline. Minting miner serves three key purposes. Number one, mining MQT with proof of physical activity. You need miners to participate in the ecosystem and mine MQT through proof of physical activity. Unlike Steppen or Sweatcoin, it doesn't do it that way. You know, they want to reward me from me doing my steps on their dashboard and then them saying what they feel it might be worth. It has nothing to do based on what others are doing, the mining and all of that. And that's why I only made $20 in 3 years. Number two, earn commissions. Sharing the project with others allows you to earn commissions, helping expand the community and reward participants fairly. And I want to also stress, the earn commissions part is outside of the self-sustaining ecosystem. It has nothing to do with that. That is simply a reward to incentivize you to help to grow this community by sharing with others. Supporting long-term sustainability. Minting miners returns MQT to the vault, ensuring a supply for future mining through the year 2060. 2060. This isn't just a 6-month program and beyond. This mechanism contributes to the ecosystem sustainability for the long haul. Now, what that means is when people say, is there any use case for MQT? And I stated earlier, I wanted to correct, even from my crypto talk, where I kind of had classified MQT as a meme token, and it's not. Based on the whole way it's working, it is not. It launched the same way meme tokens do, using Uniswap and is a decentralized. But this is a token that has a real world use case to it. It is gamified, but the only way you can get these miners is you have to purchase MQT. And that's no different than if you want to use the Binance blockchain, you need BNB. You need to be able to pay for the gas fees. Every exchange has their own internal token. So for this whole ecosystem to work, people have to buy MQT, which means we have a steady demand of the token all the way through the year 2060 and beyond. Max supply, 21 million. Anybody know any other token out there that has 21 million tokens? Distribution. 2.6 million MQT will be distributed annually for the first 4 years. Now, there's a difference between max supply and circulation. A lot of people, even so-called crypto experts, don't seem to get that. While Bitcoin max supply is 21 million, there's only 19 million in circulation, and half of that is gone forever from the early miners who didn't know what they had their hands on, locked up in computers and dumpsters. People lost their passwords, lost their seed phrase. Even Lynette said she had what, 1,200 Bitcoin locked up somewhere on her hard drive. So this is max supply. Circulating supply of MQT is less than 300,000. So each year, 2.6 million will be distributed. So when you look at the value of the token, you cannot base it on this 21 million supply. You base it on what the circulating supply is. Now, like Bitcoin, this is going to go through a halving every 4 years. The distribution will undergo a 50% halving. That means, let's say it's 5,000 tokens a day that's being released. In 4 years, that's going to get cut to 2,500. 4 years after that, that's going to get cut to 1,250. 1,250 tokens, and so on and so on. So you're not having a mass release of all the tokens at the same time. Again, that's a long-term game plan. Recycle MQT versus burning. There's been a lot of crypto projects that say we've got a burning mechanism, and this is popular amongst meme coins because they come out with like 1 trillion coins or 10 trillion coins, where you see like Shiba Inu that has 0.00008 zeros and then a number. And then what they say is over time, we're going to burn tokens, removing them from the market so the value will go up. And so all people want is to lose 2 or 3 zeros on that burning mechanism. This is not a burning mechanism. This is a recycling mechanism. Starting in 2060, previously distributed MQT that was returned to the vault from minting will be recycled and mined again, re-entering circulation. So while these tokens are being removed from the market, it is still creating a supply crunch. And if you have a supply crunch and the demand is high, the value of the token rises. But those tokens will be re-entered 40 years from now for those in the future that are mining, because these tokens are going to be so precious, so valuable, that it's not that every token is precious. No, I'm streaming live on Facebook, not YouTube. So you guys want to share this, go to Facebook, and I would share it to everybody. I'm streaming in all of the groups right now on Facebook. So recycle MQT versus burning. This recycling mechanism is preferred over token burning as it avoids artificial inflating the token's market value and ensures long-term sustainability and availability of MQT. The tokenomics. MQT returned to the vault so far has been 42,308 MQT. Redistributed MQT extends mining 28 years. So because of the MQT that has already been returned to the vault, we've extended mining from the year 2060 all the way to 2087. What does that mean? That means that people will still have the opportunity for the very first time to join MoveQuest, purchase miners, and receive mining rewards. And all of us will still be able to receive our mining rewards as of right now, all the way to the year 2087 for those who may still be around at that time. 1,000 MQT at the current market value is actually higher now. What is our market value? $67.73 right now. Would cost $62,690. New value at $62. So what happens if somebody were to purchase 1,000 MQT right now, it would cost them $62,000 to do. So that's when Lynette was talking about, we don't have a whale problem here. And if a whale wanted to enter this space, they didn't get started early. They didn't get the token when it was $1. They would have to spend a lot of money. And what happens if they do that? That money turns around and comes right back into the ecosystem. 24,000 MQT at the current market value of $59 would cost 62 million. 24,000 MQT. So that's where you see the whales. So if a whale wanted to do that, they would need to be ready to spend $62 million just to get their hands on 24,000 MQT. I am actually kicking myself because I actually thought this project was going to fail. And when I operate in those terms, I still get involved, but I get involved cautiously. I have a code I live by in the crypto space that has allowed me to have longevity, success, and earn millions of dollars. And even if projects lose, I still win. So I moved cautiously on this when, knowing what I know now, I would have bought $10,000 worth of MQT back in 60 days ago. 10,000 MQT I would have had my hands on. So you can see, and if they did that, the value of MQT would jump to $2,600 a coin. So I encourage any whales out there, go ahead. Come on in, purchase as many MQT as you want. Now you can see the substantial value added to the pool through the tokens already returned to the vault. Since the pool does not contain 42,308 MQT available for purchase, we use 24,000 MQT as a reference to calculate its value. Evolving the miners. Evolution of miners and the role of USDT. This is the problem we had on the Binance side. We never evolved our miners. We came in and got Omegas from the jump. So we skipped the entire process, which is what sustains the ecosystem. So in MoveQuest, evolving miners is the key way for users to increase their mining power and mine higher rewards. One important aspect of this process is that the project never sells MQT tokens. When users evolve their miners, they use USDT to complete the process. So when you're looking at this project, there's three tokens you need to have access to. Avalanche, AVAX for gas fees. You need USDT because that is what's being used to evolve your miners. And you need MQT because MQT is what's being used to unlock your mining dot slots and to purchase your Linnies. So USDT is used for evolution. Users provide USDT to evolve their miners, which enhances their mining capacity and rewards. Adding liquidity. This is very important. The USDT provided during the evolution process is then used by the project to purchase MQT from the market. This newly purchased MQT is paired with the with Tether. Anytime you see USDT, I'm just going to call it Tether. And the pair is added as liquidity to the pool. If you don't have liquidity, there's nobody can cash out. You wouldn't be able to sell. There's another project. Let me pull this one up. And I want to show, this is another token that I'm mining called Win. Let me get this contract address. Come back over to Dex Tools. Let me open up a new one. This project, very hyped. A lot of people, thousands and thousands of people on this project. Thousands and thousands of people. Look at his market cap. 136,000. Liquidity, $2,000. Holders, 2.48 thousand. It's actually should be more than that. It's not corrected properly because most of the holders have their wallets on a centralized dashboard. So it's not being recorded here. So there's a whole lot more than this. If you tried to sell any Win tokens right now, you would get hit with price impact. There's not enough money. You're not going to pull in. Look at this, 0.0008. That's insane. From a highly touted product, I remember earlier this year, there was a billionaire that got involved and everybody got hyped up and jumped on it. I was already in on it. But there's nothing here. Then you look at MQT. $1.4 billion market cap, 3.2 million liquidity, and people are able to buy and sell. See the difference with this chart? Look at this activity here as compared to this. I'm embarrassed by this. This is embarrassing. They still have meetings and trainings all day. And I mean, I'm like, what are you guys doing? So I'm just saying, I'm on the project. So I'm not trying to, shoot another project down. I've invested. Let's put it this way. No, I spent more money on Get Fit, but at the beginning, I spent far more money here than I did on Get Fit. And I haven't really made anything off of this. You can't sell it. The only way people are making money in this project is by recruiting. Let me say that one more time. Again, I'm not shooting nobody down. I'm only stating the facts. The only way people are making money is by recruiting with this project. Whereas MQT, the majority of way that people are making money is from the token itself, the project, their physical activity, not recruiting. You understand the difference? All right, let me go back. I'll get off on tangents here. So liquidity is very, very important. This approach supports the ecosystem by increasing liquidity. Adding more liquidity strengthens the token stability and allows for smoother market operations. Now, the last I heard, Lynette's goal was to get MQT's liquidity to 15 million. And at that point, it's like a safe zone where nothing can happen to the project. I mean, every single person in can sell all their tokens and they can't crash it. So that's her sweet spot, 15 million in liquidity. So supporting MQT price by purchasing MQT from the market instead of selling it, the project avoids creating sell pressure, helping to maintain the token's value over time. So one thing that I look at every day, especially when we do crypto talks in the morning, I always look at this chart and we go over this. We look at all of the buys, all of the sells, who's selling, who's buying, why, do they have NFTs? Because you can pick up patterns here. But you see here, total buys 206, sells 535. So the first time since earlier today, the volume of sales is now larger than the volume of buys. Buys is at 89,000, sales is at 108,000. That's why you saw this dip here. Then the smart contract kicked in. But if we can maintain for a good period of time bigger volume of buys than selling, you see the token price rise. This is why it went from $60 to $67. But this is transparent. You can see every single buy and sell. You can even look up every single wallet. There's no names attached, so you don't know who they are, but you can see what even they have in their wallet. And this is why, for security purposes, I'll say this. Be very careful the wallets you are using. Let me look at an example. Let me pull up this one here. Take a look at this wallet. Because everything on the blockchain is open source. So this is how a wallet should look. Whoever did that sell, they're still sitting on 1,600 MQT. What's the value of that right now? 1,618 MQT at $67.59. They've got 6 figures worth of MQT. I think that you call that a success since this only launched 60 days ago. $100,000 value. That's not bad. But notice Avalanche, AVAX, MoveQuest, and Tether. Some of these wallets that I've seen, you see everything they have in the wallet. They got all these other projects and all these other things, which means they're connecting their wallet to other sources. That's dangerous. If just my suggestion, did I give the disclaimer? I'm not a licensed financial advisor. I would not have anything that I'm doing with MQT attached to any wallets with any other stuff. This is just a suggestion I would give, because this is the hottest thing going right now, and hackers are doing the same thing I'm doing. They're looking at this. They're looking to see who's a whale, who had a big sell. Here's one for 37 MQT, right, for $2,500. And then they're going and they're looking at your wallets. And they want to see, is there anything else they got attached to it? And they target you. They can see all of your transactions. They can track it if you're moving from one wallet to another. So they'll look at all your other wallets that you're moving stuff to try to find vulnerabilities. So you want to be very careful about what you're doing. Don't have targets on your back. Don't have all your MQT in one wallet. You'll never know my wallet. So, I've got them all over the place. I don't need to have it all in one wallet. That's dangerous. All right. Evolution's role in managing liquidity and preventing market manipulation. In addition to increasing mining power and rewards, evolution has a critical role in managing liquidity within the MoveQuest ecosystem. This process is designed to protect the project from market manipulation, particularly from whale trading and trading bots, while also enhancing the value of MQT for all holders. So just a quick lesson here. Normally with regular trading that goes on, what whales and bots do, they can manipulate the market themselves by forcing a sell pressure to force the market down. So they'll sell a large amount high. They don't actually want the profits. They just pick a token and they pick the time. They sell it high, force the project to go down. The bots react to whales. So the bots seeing the sell pressure, they also start to sell. The regular traders see all of this selling going on, so they don't want to lose their positions, so they sell as well, and it forces it down. And then that main whale who started that sell-off to begin with comes in and buys it down here. And when they buy it down here, then it starts to force the price up. The bots see this huge buy order happen because of the whale did. They start to follow what the whale did. And then everybody else who's trading, looking at the chart, seeing it going up, they want a piece of the action. So then they start buying in as it's going up, all the way up. And then the whale sells again. This is a pattern. When you learn how to trade, you know what to look for. You see these things. Whales can't do that here because every time they do, the smart contract kicks in and defeats the purpose. And it shoots the price right back up before that whale has a time to buy the dip. And we've seen this time and time again. I've been watching from the first one when he sold 87,000 Bitcoin MQT, then he sold $300,000 worth of MQT. There was a $250,000 sale of MQT. Every single time when that smart contract kicked in, that individual's like, what? No, I need to get back in. And they try to come back in and buy, except they're not buying down here. They end up buying way up here, higher than the price they sold it at. So it's not profitable for manipulators, professional traders, bots, and whales who look up small projects to parasite off of. It's not profitable for them to do that here with MQT. We've seen this time and time and time and time again. So it's like a well buster. I think Ken Francis termed it, we moved from pump and dump to dump and pump is the way this ecosystem works. I have never in my career in crypto ever seen that happen before. That's why I'm very amazed with this project. Never seen it before. So here's how it works. Liquidity removal to manage oversold MQT. During evolution, the project can remove liquidity from the pool when MQT becomes oversold. This prevents excess tokens from flooding the market and stabilizes the token price. So in other words, here's what happened here. When the smart contract kicked in, where is that? Right here. Okay, so what happened was, at some point, the smart contract said, all right, we're in oversold territory. There's too many tokens that's been sold in the market, and the price is it has been coming down. We got to stabilize it. So this comes in, repurchases MQT and adds a liquidity injection and stabilizes the price right back up. So the term this does, and Lynette kept saying this, I don't know if you guys caught this. The evolution process is doing what buyers should be doing, buying the dip. Every time that stabilizes this. So that's why we've seen from all this time, last week and a half or so, you've seen the price kind of stabilize in the same range. Now, what will make this price go even higher? The more people are continuing to submit in claims. And if you watch this long enough, you'll also notice a 10-day cycle. I've noticed there's 2 to 3 10-day cycles here of a batch of all of you in the community that's claiming your MQT on the 10 days, and then a vast majority that starts to sell all on the same time. In the same time, because you're checking your account in the first thing in the morning. Oh, it's 10 days. Let me claim. Oh, let me sell. All at the same time. It's kind of predictable now because I have enough data to see it happening. So I can predict. So a trader like myself can take advantage of that. And I know, all right, when that 10-day comes up and all that selling happens, I need to buy the dip and try to buy it before the liquidity injection of the smart contract so that I can get the dip and then get rewarded as it rides all the way back up. But that's for those of you who understand trading. Know how to read these charts. Re-injecting liquidity with MQT buybacks. The USDT from this liquidity removal is used to buy back MQT from the market, reducing the circulating supply. Once the MQT is purchased, the project then re-injects liquidity into the pool at strategic moments. This helps maintain a stable market and prevents large fluctuations due to overselling. So the armchair keyboard critics out there, they say, just wait till everybody dumps their coins and watch what's going to happen to the token. All right, we've seen what happened. It hit a new all-time high every single time. Why? Because of this. And again, those armchair critics never saw anything like this. They don't understand it. So their first reaction is, oh, it must be a scam. That's okay when I hear them say that. That lets you know you don't even know what this is about. Good. Preventing whale manipulation and bot trading. By managing liquidity in this way, the project prevents whale buying and selling as well as trading bots from heavily manipulating the market. This mechanism ensures that no single entity can significantly impact the price, providing fairness and stability for all holders. Increased market value for holders. So this entire concept is designed to reward the holders. I don't have to preach, hold your tokens. If you want to sell, go right ahead. But those of you who are looking long-term, you want to see this project being healthy and successful. It's built for you. You're going to get those long-term rewards. When the price of MQT rises, the evolution process holds the previously oversold tokens for future liquidity injections at higher market prices, further benefiting the project and the community. That's why every time we see a major sell-off, all of a sudden the token reached a new all-time high. Remember that in the early days when we saw the token go from $2.50 to $6, and then a week later, $40, and it only went to 40 because somebody tried to manipulate the market and sold, was that with the first $87,000 sell, dropped from $34 to $27. Smart contract kicked in and it went to $46 that same day. Same thing happened again over and over, pushed it all the way up to 125. And now the whales wised up and said, whoa, I think we better stop trying to do this because they lose money every single time they do it. So it's designed to support long-term growth and prevents market manipulation. The evolution does, that's what that was talking about. The evolution does what the community should. In a perfect world, nobody will sell anything. It was just sitting on this long term. We don't live in a perfect world. Everybody's different. Everybody has different issues that they have to deal with. So that's why the smart contract is there, to compensate for that. Essentially, the project is using evolution to manage liquidity responsibly, doing what the community should be doing by holding and strategically injecting MQT to ensure sustainable growth. Have you ever heard this scenario? You got into a project early. Everybody got the token cheap. It launches and the token goes sky high. Everybody tries to sell for a profit. Let's say they sell 50% of their tokens for a profit. And since everybody's selling, the price of the token comes crashing down. And now that same community is looking at, wow, I can't sell any more tokens. There's no liquidity there to sell. I can't sell the token. Really? And then they say, go to the company. Why is the price so low? Why don't you add more liquidity? We even had this in our own Binance side. The people on the Binance side that had been a part of Get Fit 2 years ago are screaming for Lynette, add liquidity to the system. If you add liquidity, but you don't have a community that is doing the necessary things to maintain the ecosystem, the only thing they're going to do is sell and eat up that liquidity. So instead of the company or a company adding liquidity, the best way is for the people in the same community to buy the dip. If they all buy the dip, that token value starts coming back up, which then makes it attractive to people outside of the project who say, oh, wow, that thing's going up. Let me get in on that. If it's always going down, people outside of the project look, oh, that's not, I don't want nothing to do with that. But that's how almost every project operates. And the company is not going to add, they want their profit. They're keeping their profit. They're not trying to put the profit in liquidity. But Get Fit Mining, on the other hand, it does go back to the liquidity. So it's not reliant on the community to buy the dip in mass as we should do. I always teach in crypto education, you sell high, you buy low. Instead, the smart contract is doing that for all of us, using our own money. Where's that money coming from? The same money we used to purchase the lineage in the first place and evolve the tokens. Evolve the miners. It really is ingenious. I'm looking at this thing. I'm like, can you imagine if that was put that way in Bitcoin? If Bitcoin had that in place, Bitcoin right now would probably be $500,000 a coin, if not higher, $1 million a coin. Many people lack a clear understanding of how liquidity works and how market value fluctuates based on common sense trading habits. Well, it's common sense for those who understand trading. If you've never traded before, you're not going to understand. Like avoiding overselling during periods of high selling pressure and choosing to sell when there is demand for the token. However, since most lack the discipline to follow these practices, this is why we say it's okay to sell, but sell responsibly. This is a lesson that I'm teaching my youngest son, because he's already had two 10-day claims. He made 1,100 the first 10 days. He made 670 his second 10 days. And I've got a schedule with him. We've got where his tokens, you don't touch the assets. We'll do 50% selling. The 50% that you sell, half of that is either going to your savings account or it's also being used to upgrade your miners. The other half, you get to spend however you want. So if he had made $600, he gets to spend about $150. Other 150 goes into a saving, and then the other 300 remains in MoveQuest tokens. What he does not know, and this is just me as a father, what I'm doing, is I'm not selling any of his tokens. I'm paying him the money he earned out of my own money, so that a year from now, when he's ready to go to college, he's ready to buy a car, we got to pay for college and all that stuff. What do you think the value of MQT will be? And I never sold any of his tokens. But he's benefiting because he's only 17. And you got to reward him. He doesn't have the patience. So I got to give the kid some money. But it's money that he's worked, he's earned. But then I can turn around and say, now, here's your tokens now so that you can graduate with no debt. You have more money than your college professors. You now have money to start your own business, buy a house. That's what I'm teaching my son with this, the discipline side of this. So most lack the discipline to follow these practices. The evolution mechanism steps in during extreme overselling to stabilize the market. Only when the community collectively adopts healthy buying and selling habits will the token value rise above its latest high. So you want to see this token go higher than it is right now? It's up to us. There's 2 things we can do. 3 things we can do. 1, buy the dip. 2, do responsible selling. We should try to make sure that our buying volume is higher than our selling volume. 3, share and continue to build the community so we have more people using the ecosystem, which is now injecting more liquidity right back into the system. That is in our control. That's not in Lynette's control. Think about that. We control that. Not, Lynette, make the price go up. No, it doesn't work that way. We as a community have that power. See, mining dot slots. The mining dot slots are unlocked using MQT tokens, which are then paired with USDT to add liquidity to the pool. Once a miner is plugged into the dock, it begins generating hashes based on the user's steps, distance, workouts, calories burned, and sleep. When the user submits their proof of physical activity, the data is recorded to the blockchain, ensuring transparency and accuracy and validating the MQT rewards. This process integrates physical activity with blockchain technology while contributing to the ecosystem's liquidity. That is again, that's genius. Submissions and claims. Submissions and claims fees are paid using the blockchain's native token, which is then converted into USDT. This USDT is used to buy MQT from the market, and the purchased MQT is paired with the USDT and added to the liquidity pool. This mechanism supports the liquidity of MQT while maintaining a balanced token economy. It's important to note that if the market is short on MQT, what does that mean? Well, remember, there's not 21 million in circulation. So if there's no MQT to buy, the evolution mechanism will use the MQT previously purchased during periods of overselling, adding stability again to the liquidity pool. This provides greater value to the liquidity pool since more resources can be allocated to increasing liquidity without needing to buy additional MQT, thereby reinforcing the token's market stability. So the smart contract is not designed to keep the price going up. It's designed to maintain stability to prevent volatility. Okay? The price going up is based on how many people is using the product and doing submissions and claims every day. That's where the numbers are. So it's not about how many people, it's actually about how many wallets, how many miners are out there being used. What I think we crossed 27,000 miners now that's being used every single day, submissions and claims. What do you think will happen when we reach 100,000 miners? Some of you guys might have 4 mining machines. 2, that's what I call this, to my crypto community. Some public people say devices, watches, phones. How many phones do you have working for you? The people who's really taking this serious is operating this like a business. How many mining machines do they have working for them? That's a whole nother conversation. These additions will provide increased utility for MQT and significantly contribute to the liquidity pool, further strengthening the ecosystem and enhancing the value of the token. I heard some people say, I don't think it's fair that somebody has 2 phones. What are you talking about? I encourage that. The more, the better. It's not about people, it's about wallets. Because it doesn't, if they get a second device, they still have to go out and purchase the MQT to buy the miners. They still have to evolve the miners up. They still have to pay the fees for submissions and claims. And all of that is adding to the value of the token that you make. Go, go, go. Whatever you can afford to do. Miner price shift. Upcoming miner pricing shift. Locking MQT for long-term value and sustainability. Currently, the price to mint an entry-level miner with 50% mining power is locked at $50. However, as we approach 50,000 to 100,000 miners plugged into the mining dock, an algorithm will determine when the shift will occur and the amount of MQT required to mint these miners will lock. Once this happens, the price of the miners will no longer be fixed in dollars. A fixed amount of MQT and multiplying the locked amount of MQT by the market value of MQT will determine the price of the miner. So if we're at about 27, 28,000 miners right now, you might want to try to get your hand on as many miners as you can for $50. The increase will be based on math, not based on what Lynette thinks the price of a miner should be. It's whatever the math says, but according to the numbers. So I don't know what that is. A Lenny miner might go up to $200, $500 per Lenny. Remember, I talk about Gala game nodes all the time. Their miners came out at $500 a piece when they launched. Today, they're worth $140,000 a piece. So it's not just, your asset is not just the MQT token. You also hold another asset, the NFT miner. Those are going to have value, and a lot of value. So this is going to happen sooner than we think. The faster this community grows, next thing you know, it's going to be more expensive to get these miners. And that's when the leasing market kicks in. So this transition will drive up the market value of the miners, making them more valuable over time. Additionally, this mechanism will remove more MQT from circulation, ensuring that a reserve of MQT is available for future mining beyond 2087, which helps further stabilize and sustain the token's long-term value. This will also create a demand for leasing. You want to know one of the hottest topics being debated in the Bitcoin mining community? Let me show you what the problem is that they're facing. If you read the Bitcoin white paper, the whole design is based on there being max supply of 21 million. Because at some point, people aren't going to be talking in terms of Bitcoin. They're going to be talking in terms of Satoshis. Like 0.00045 Satoshis is worth $500. It'll be something like that. And there's enough decimals to cover all the money in the world. That's what it was designed for. That's why it has that value for for 21 million Bitcoin. The problem, 19.7 million Bitcoin has already been mined since 2009. The problem, the last Bitcoin will be mined 140 years from now, but half of this has been lost forever. So there'll never be a circulating supply of 21 million to make the math that the Bitcoin white paper was designed to do work efficiently. There's going to be a huge Bitcoin supply crunch. And you've got big networks like BlackRock that's coming in and snatching up all the Bitcoin. They're now the third largest Bitcoin holder in the world in just the last 8 months. So the debate is, two debates here. One, they know all the Bitcoin that has been kind of lost, because you see the Bitcoin. It hasn't been touched in 15 years or 14 years. They want to see if they can repurpose those Bitcoin back into circulation. Or another debate is increase the total supply of Bitcoin by another 10 million Bitcoin to go to 31 million to compensate for the 9 to 10 million that has already been lost, that will never be recovered. And you might hear people say, I'm a Bitcoin maximalist. Those are people that say, we don't want to change nothing about the Bitcoin. That's like strict constitutional constructionists that are strict constructionalists. The Constitution is as it is. There's no need for amendments. The framers were perfect in how they created it, and is there to last the test of time, no matter what happens in the future. So you've got different communities in Bitcoin trying to figure out how are we going to solve, because it's not a problem yet, but it will be. There are more millionaires and billionaires on the planet today than there are Bitcoin available, which means every single one of them can afford to buy one whole Bitcoin right now. What happens if they all attempt to do so? There's not enough Bitcoin to go around, which is going to push the price of Bitcoin skyrocketing high. Now, are they able to do that? Yes, because as a community, they can vote on it and increase the size. They can. But they're the first people that don't want to do that. You want to know why? Because they're the first ones to get their hands on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not just dispersed out everywhere. Miners get it first, and then miners sell it onto the market. Just like MQT, we are getting it first. The only way the outside community of people that's not using their physical activity, the only way they can get MQT is if you guys sell it to them. So they're like, why in the world would I want to devalue the Bitcoin I already have, I'm sitting on? So it's a 99% chance they won't go for that. But they have the power to do so. What Lynette's created here is that we'll never have that issue, because the system itself is going in there and repurchasing MQT and putting it in a vault to be used again 40 years from now. So when there is a supply crunch, we've got a vault that can inject more MQT into the system. Like I said, this is genius. Liquidity provision. I'm impressed, and I'm not easily impressed when it comes to crypto. It's important to understand that the costs associated with various actions in the ecosystem, such as minting miners, evolving, submitting activity, claiming rewards, docking, creating and joining challenges, and leasing miners, will increase in alignment with the market value of the MQT token. This dynamic pricing ensures that as the token's value rises, more MQT is returned to the liquidity pool, helping maintain stability and balance in the ecosystem. By adjusting these prices based on the token's market value, we can sustain liquidity and ensure the long-term health of the project, preventing sudden imbalances or inflationary pressures as the community and the token continue to grow. No token allocation. This is also another big thing. See, a problem a lot of projects have, and it always starts with leaders. The prima donna leaders who've made millions of dollars, who feel that just because of who they are, the red carpet should be rolled out for them, and they want special deals. They want special compensation. They want to be gifted a whole bunch of tokens before everybody else. And that's the beginning of the end of projects. That might work in network marketing companies, but that does not work in the crypto space. It's a different animal here. So we have no token allocation. In the MoveQuest ecosystem, it's important to highlight that there was no pre-allocated token distribution. So when you see projects, they show you the roadmap and they show you that pie chart and say, okay, here's where all the tokens are going. And you see a percentage goes to the community, a percentage for marketing, a percentage for the early investors, a percentage for the development team, a percentage for the creator of the token. That's what that is. There is no pre-allocated tokens here. There was no token set aside for team members or early investors. Instead, the entire community directly benefits from the project's success. 90% of all revenue generated from the ecosystem is retained for liquidity. Let me repeat that. 90% of all revenue in a centralized system, that would be profit that goes in Sam Bankman-Fried's pocket or CZ's pocket or the Winklevoss twins' pocket, Coinbase's pocket. It goes straight to the ecosystem, right back. 10% of the revenue is retained as profit for the project. Why does a project need profit? So that it can put on events in Vegas, so that there can be any additions made to the app for marketing purposes, to pay for the developers to create it. So reinforcing the commitment to community growth and stability over time. I even have somebody say, I don't understand why they're even taking 10% profit. Who works for free? Come on now, have some common sense. MoveQuest, the difference. What sets MoveQuest apart from other projects in the market is its unique community-driven ecosystem and long-term vision for sustainability. Unlike many other projects, MoveQuest had no pre-allocated tokens, meaning the success of the project is directly tied to the community's growth and engagement. Here's what makes the MoveQuest stand out. 90% of revenue for liquidity. Unlike projects that prioritize profit, MoveQuest reinvests 90% of all ecosystem revenue into liquidity. This ensures that the token remains stable, valuable, and resistant to market volatility, offering a much stronger foundation than typical projects. A self-sustaining tokenomics. MoveQuest tokenomics are designed for long-term stability. Again, we're not looking at the next 6 weeks. We're looking at the next 6 years and beyond. MoveQuest tokenomics are designed for long-term sustainability. The mechanisms like evolution and liquidity management that control overselling and manipulation, keeping the ecosystem balanced and healthy. Dynamic pricing model. The price for actions like minting, evolving, and challenges is tied to the market value of MQT, ensuring that as the token grows in value, the ecosystem continues to stabilize and strengthen liquidity. No reliance on new funds. The project does not depend on a constant influx of new users to pay out existing participants. Instead, the revenue model is built to support the community, benefiting everyone as the ecosystem thrives. These features, combined with the project's focus on innovation, transparency, and community empowerment, make MoveQuest truly one of a kind in the crypto space, offering a model for long-term growth and sustainability that others simply don't match. Fully decentralized. MoveQuest is a fully decentralized platform, ensuring that we do not store, share, save, or sell your proof of physical activity data. How many of you guys love Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and Twitter and X? They sell your data. Here, this does not happen. Our servers are used exclusively for just hosting images for the dApp and Web3 integration. This decentralized approach makes the project debt-free with no external investors. Let me stop right there for a second. Did you hear that? Debt-free. Operational cost is $25 a month for server maintenance. That's insane. That's why there's no need for corporate offices and staff and all that kind of stuff. $25 for server maintenance. MoveQuest is entirely managed through smart contracts, ensuring that the platform is fully automated and transparent. This approach gives users complete control over their actions and success, with no intermediaries involved. Every interaction, from earning rewards to managing miners, is governed by code, empowering the community to directly shape their experience and outcomes. That's it. That's the MoveQuest ecosystem. So I hope that made sense to you guys. I enjoyed reading that. I'm a crypto guy, so I know all the terms and I see the big picture. If you are brand new to crypto, that's okay. at least you heard it the first time. Sometimes you got to hear things over and over again, and it starts to make sense. So thank you for at least being here to learn something new. We've got how many people in this community, and what, about 45 people that was listening tonight? Education is key. Education is everything, and it will save you from a heartache later down the road. It's one thing to earn the token, is another to know what to do with it afterwards, how to keep it safe, keep it secure, let it work for you, and help to continue to grow this community. So that is it for tonight. I want you guys to enjoy the rest of your weekend. We will be back on Monday, and I will put this recording up so you guys can use. I like to only do things once. So when people come to me asking me 1,000,001 questions, unfortunately, I don't have the patience that Herschel Crow does. That brother got patience like a saint. I don't have that patience like that. So I don't like to repeat myself. So if anybody's got the same questions that I just went over, I'm sending them the recorded video that you can have access to, and you guys can share it as well. We'll put it up as soon as I have it uploaded. And Monday is the next presentation, Monday morning at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific for me here in California. Following that will be Herschel Crow's training at 2 p.m. and 9 p.m. Now, Lynette will be back on Monday to kind of go over everything she went over again this past Thursday night. I don't know if she's going to be on the 2 p.m. one or the 9 p.m. one. More than likely, she'll probably be on the 9 p.m. one. But just keep your eye on the Telegram groups. And I strongly suggest you guys get involved and plugged in. You don't want to be the one that's asking 1,000,000 questions when the answers is at your fingertip if you actually plug in to get it. You know, do your part and learn how this stuff works. And the stronger of an educated community we all have together, the stronger that this project has a better chance of succeeding long term. So with that, I hope you learned something new. As always, that's the point. Brandon Ivey from Los Angeles. I will see you guys on Monday on the next presentation. Take care. Bye-bye.